Let's
It's
do
it's
it.
good to talk with you again. The last time we spoke was a year ago, and
Okay.
you've had, an eventful year. You became the Grand Prix winner, won $1 million. You became the undisputed Bellator Bantamweight champion. Now, I mean, these are all the goals, right? I mean, this is everything you were chasing, at least for a time. How does it feel to kind of erase all the doubts at who's the best at Bellator's Bantamweight division?
Um, it's good to erase the doubt, you know. I feel like I should have wrote the story a little different a couple years ago and just wiped the floor completely with Archuleta, and then I would have had the belt. But it's good to fight for it the first time and then reclaim it the second. And obviously doing it in the $1 million tournament was very cool as well.
And probably, that obviously it was a setback and you wish it didn't go that way, but you must have taken away some very useful lessons from that, obviously, right?
Yeah, a lot of useful lessons, a lot of training lessons, a lot of preparing for fights, um, adversity lessons, when it's not going your way, kind of adjusting on the fly. Being a high level professional, you need to make adjustments. And that's one of the things that my team helped me get more well rounded at.
Sure, sure. That had to be a weird fight week going back to that most recent fight, because of all that was going on with, the looming purchase of Bellator by PFL. Was it kind of a strange experience that week?
Yeah, it was such a strange experience. The purchase of Bellator, PFL was going to buy Bellator. We didn't know if it was going to get shut down. I had arrived to the hotel across from the House of Blues, and some dude dropped dead the night before. It was crazy. All these ambulances were outside. This was a very dark week. I just felt it was just so crazy, the whole week when we got to Chicago. Just a weird place. I don't know. I liked it, but I also didn't at the same time. But it was, it was, it was, it was a real, you know, to get adjusted to, obviously, because they were selling it, and then to also have to fight for the belt was kind of hard to do.
Sure, sure. Obviously you got through it. Everything worked out for the best, and here your Bellator is not shut down. Obviously, you are competing, uh, defending your belt again. But going back to again, kind of the aftermath of the sale and everything like that, because like you said, there was uncertainty. You know, do they plan to keep Bellator? They do. Gave you a chance to still compete in your weight class. PFL doesn't have a bantamweight season, right? So do you feel like, not much has changed for you in terms of the competitive landscape? Because kind of all the bantamweights is still at 135 pounds in Bellator, right?
Yeah, I think everybody else's whole landscape changed except mine. Me being in Bellator at bantamweight and them not having PFL's bantamweight, the whole thing just nothing changed at all. They just converted the old roster, into now it's the same roster that we already have. And it's probably luckily for good for the PFL guys because if they did have a bantamweight guy, I would have probably choked him out.
But then you had to miss out on the champion versus champion thing too, which was kind of I don't know, maybe it was a blessing in disguise because it wasn't that long after your championship win, right?
Yeah, it wasn't that long after my win, and then Tatiana was booked to fight anyways around that time. So I was happy that we didn't have to go to Saudi Arabia because I was kind of want to be part of her camp, and I just didn't need to fight at that moment. I just if they did have a bantamweight, then I would have kind of been interested. But since they didn't, it just didn't even cross my mind.
Sure, sure. Now, obviously, again, the competitive landscape is the same, but what has changed for you? You're dealing with different people now, and there must be different elements. Or is it really the same?
I guess my manager and my management, they work out all my deals. I have the best management in Ali Disease and Dominance. So they work my deals out. So I really haven't had to like work I don't work anything myself business wise. They work it all out for me. And I work, my business end with them. So just just all good communication with my management. I also have a real good relationship with Ray Sefo, the president of PFL. He's from the same gym as me in Extreme Couture, so I know him. So I do have a good relationship there. And then I've been to a couple PFL events. They've sat me cage side. You know, Don Davis has taken care of me, and you know, have shown me nothing but hospitality. You know, treated me greatly. So, you know, I have nothing but perspective on it. Like this next show, I get my own perspective on how they deal with the show, how they do everything. And I'm very excited to be a part of it. The show is, you know, it's going to be centered around me because I'm the headliner, and I already slept this guy once, you know, so I'm supposed to go do my job. And I'm looking forward to working with, you know, some new faces and some new people. And, you know, just I'm looking forward to the show. I think they're going to run it well. And I'm looking forward to the improvements that you know, they seem to be bold on that they've improved, like um, the marketing, the production, you know, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay, sure. And you know, not for nothing, Bellator is now more focused on, you know, these international events. So that means you get a nice business trip to Paris. I mean, that must be kind of exciting, right?
Yeah, it's cool to fight in Paris. Like I fought in Tokyo, Hawaii, Japan. You know, I fight everywhere. You tell me on a Friday or Saturday night I got to meet someone wherever, you know, in the world inside of a steel cage, I'll do it. So it's cool to do it in Paris, but I'd rather done it right in the HEC. I'd rather done it right at the arena downtown Buffalo. You know what I mean? Right where I'm from.
Sure, sure. But at least, you know, it's an exotic locale. I don't know if you've been to Paris before,
No,
but
never been to Paris. I'm not sure. I don't know what to expect. You know, I don't
are
know
you
if
going to
it's
try
like
to be a
Hawaii
tourist?
or no, I'm gonna be cutting weight the whole week. But after we're done
Yeah,
in
after.
Paris, me and my girl are gonna go to probably gonna go to like Italy or Spain or somewhere.
See, that's where I'd go. I'd go to Italy.
Yeah. She wants
I'm
to
all
go to
about that.
Italy, you know? Yeah, she's all
Mm,
about that too. So hopefully I can bring her there afterwards and everything goes cool. No matter what, I'm gonna bring her there afterwards. And
my kind of
everything will
gal.
go well.
That sounds
Yeah.
good. So, you know, do you get the sense kind of from PFL regarding your weight class, you know, and its future with, you know, this now PFL owned Bellator? Like is it you've been hearing rumblings from people like even Patricio Pitbull is saying, you know, it might not be a long-term thing. Is that I don't know if that's anything you've heard, but you know, does that kind of stick out in your mind as like what's the
What
future?
might not be a long term thing?
The Bellator, like as a brand, that it might get more folded in or
Um,
something like that. Have
I'm
you
not
heard anything
sure,
to that
man. You know,
effect?
I don't know how it's run. You know, all I know is I have a title defense and they got cards for the whole year. So after this one, I'm looking to keep racking them up. And no matter what, no matter what happens with the promotion or anything, I feel like I stand out. I'm rare amongst rare individuals because my record is so, you know, 19 and 1, 15 finishes. So I'm going to be a 3-time world champion. If it went down, you know, whether it's PFL or any other league, you know, I'm the hottest, one of the hottest prospects. You know, hottest. I would be one of the hottest, you know, prospects at the time. But
Yeah, I
free
mean,
agents at the time. Let's say
free
if the
agents. Yeah, I was
promotion
gonna
went
say
under, yeah,
you're far from a prospect. You
yeah,
are
yeah. That's
maybe
not
not
the
a
right
finished
word. That's
product,
not
but
the
you
right
are.
word. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's not the right
you
word. But I'm saying if the promotion had went down, like you said, I haven't heard no rumblings about that though. Like Patricio had, you know, had said.
okay. Well, I'm sure whatever war will it is will work out itself for you. But you know,
Yeah.
this one is against Magomed Magomedov, you know, defending your title. It's, you know, you actually choked him out unconscious 17 months ago. This is kind of an unorthodox booking here, you know. Were you surprised?
No, I cleaned the division out for the most part. I fought everyone in the top five, and Archuletta's the only one to kind of have that little win over me a few years ago. I wanted to rematch him, but he had got knocked out on New Year's and he missed weight by like 6 pounds. So had he made weight or even won the fight, it would have been perfect for me. I would have been able to avenge my only loss. But you know, he ended up losing. So you have to look down the line. You know, Stotts is a decision win over Sabatello. Maga just finished him. You know what I mean? And Maga's not. This guy's not easy, man. People, I think, they're just counting him out because of the way that I finished him. Previous to me finishing him, no one's ever finished him. No one's ever even, you know, no one's ever put that kid away. So I was the first one to do it, and he only has losses to Peter Yan and Stotts. You know, two other world class fighters. Aside from that, his record's 20-3 with 14 finishes. That's a better record than Chito Vera. That's a better record than Henry Cejudo. That's a better record than, you know, I mean, I, that's a better record than Peter Yan. That's a better, you know what I mean? So this guy is qualified and he is dangerous. I just want to make sure that I'm looking at this as a new fight. This isn't an old fight. We're not just rematching and it's not the same fighters. 17 months ago, he fought me and I fought him, but we are complete two new versions of ourselves. And we're going to roll those dice and we're going to play the game differently. You know, we have 25 minutes to fight each other. It's going to be a whole new fight. And I look to, I look to close the distance, find the range on him, and put him away, by any means necessary.
But you do have some extra data that you've never had on a previous opponent. This is your first rematch, I believe, right?
My first rematch, but yeah, the extra data doesn't matter. We're just running it differently. It's going to be a brand new fight. I'm looking at it like I slept him and he's got a picture of me in his room and he's just been throwing darts at it for the last like 17 months. He's been waiting to kick my ass. So the only thing I could say is I'm going to be ready and I'm going to be very sharp in that first round.
Sure, sure. So what really is left for you in Bellator slash PFL? Because again, you're at the point where you're, kind of going back to old competition now. I mean, what are you looking to accomplish?
Whatever the fans want, man. The biggest names possible. You see PFL signing all these names, these big names. Who's to say they can't go get a Demetrius Johnson or someone else? You know what I mean? There's names out there, and if not, Brendan Loughnane, he's coming up. He could potentially win the tournament this year. That fight down the line looks good. Braga, he was in the finale last year. That fight down the line looks good. Pineda, he was PFL, $1 million winner himself, world champion. That fight looks good. So there's fights. Patricio Pipple's at 45. My last opponent I just put away. He beat Patricio 5 rounds to nothing. So after this, I just want to remain dominant. I put this guy away. I do it in the way that I know Patchy can, way I can. People are going to be excited to watch me fight, and it doesn't matter who it's going to be against. They're just going to want to watch me.
I don't know how much time you have left on your contract, but you've obviously been picking up a whole lot of leverage with some of these major victories. I mean, do you know how much time you have left on your contract before you can kind of test maybe your bargaining power?
No, nothing yet, man. I mean, I could look into it, but not really right now. Just focus on this fight, really. I don't know. My manager, they focus on all that, and then Ali. He helps, we help each other, he helps me make the most money and, obviously the more money I get, the more he gets. So he's always going to do me a great job. And, right now I'm not really focusing on too much of that stuff. I let my management handle that. And, I just really focus on one thing right now. And that's, Magomed Magomedov, I mean, 2 Fridays from now, it's not, it's less than 3 weeks away. So it's 19 days or so we're going to fight. And I'm just excited to, have the moment, like you said, enjoy it and enjoy Paris. Like a kid like me, I come from not much from the greater Buffalo area, and to be able to bring my family, my friends, my girlfriend, my future wife here, not just my girlfriend.
Are you
Just
engaged?
no, not yet, but down the line, I'm just thinking, out loud here. But to be able to bring everyone to Paris is just so it would be amazing. It's a place to you know, so it's a place I never thought I'd be able to go to or even afford. So um, like I'm just blessed and I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
Sure, sure. The last question I had for you is, obviously you're very confident in your own skills, but there are people who recognize that you may be the #1 bantamweight in the world, not just yourself, but it takes a
Yeah, I
lot
kick Sean
for.
O'Malley's ass too. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Why are they right though? Why are they right that you might be the #1 in the world?
My credentials, man. I'm 19-1 with 15 finishes. Look at the whole entire roster of any promotion across all the top promotions. Nobody else has those stats. And I'm doing it against formidable opponents. I do it against very good opposition too. It's not just these cupcake walks. So I feel people are starting to realize it, and I just train with so many guys that are of the upper echelon in MMA. Sean Strickland, Chris Curtis, Marab, Aljo, all these weights, Islam, all these different weights, Hamza. I train with so many different people. And I feel like people, once they kind of train with me, they really recognize and see, the special talent I am. And they start looking at it, and start to like think, oh, wow, they're calling Sean O'Malley the best, but how would he match up against Patchy? And they're starting to realize, he wouldn't do so well. So how can you call someone the best when I got better stats than you? I got a better record than you. I have more finishes than you. I'm more of a world champion than you. You know what I mean? It's hard to do that. So I'm trying to separate myself even further right here, and 20-1 with 16 finishes, and put this guy away.